this one at Amy Stadium. A comprehensive victory to Adelaide. 1 super goal, 20 normal goals, 9 behind, so that's accurate kicking. 138 to Collingwood, 1 super goal, 7 goals, 10, 61. So that is a margin of 77. Let's have a listen to the Crow song.
Courageous, stronger, faster, and respected by our foes. Admiration of the nation, our determination shows. We're the pride of South Australia, we're the mighty Adelaide Crows.
Yes, we'll be hearing that more than 7 occasions. That's all we heard it last year. 7 victories. So I reckon they're looking in better shape. And one of the reasons they're in better shape, we've spoken about this on numerous occasions, no injuries. Only Ben Rutten out. He'll be back perhaps next week.
Richard Douglas.
And Richard Douglas. So 2 players as opposed to previous years where there's been multiple figures. That final score again, 77. We'll have a look at some of the good guys' stats in a moment. We'll also be going down into the rooms and chatting to one of the Crows players. This is the match review wrap. Thanks to RTC Electrical Systems. We appreciate their support and we love your input as well. 1999 1395. Send us a text. Let us know what you think. Tell us who you think is going to be in their best 22 or the 22, because we revert back to normal home and away rules in the grand final. Who will be the 22 next week, Bone? And will Sando pick his very best team in the grand final?
Absolutely, you're in it. You've got to win it, no doubt about that. Crows were good tonight. Make no mistake, this was the Collingwood team way off their best, Rowie. I reckon you said before the ball was even bounced that with the 2 teams on paper, the Crows should win by 10. Well, they've won by nearly 13 goals, so probably the result we expected, but the Crows nonetheless very good. The good guys stat sheet good to go, favours them, and finally the scoreboard caught up with the numbers on the stat sheet. 353 touches to Adelaide to 272 to Collingwood. They absolutely dominated possession all over the ground. 200 kicks, 150 odd handballs. Maybe the ratio not quite right, but certainly better after half time. 31 clearances to 21. The Crows smashed them at the stoppages. 140 contested possessions to 127. The Crows were hard, the Crows were tough, and the Crows were at it in good numbers. 63 inside 50s is a great number compared to 43 from Collingwood, and the scoreboard 21-9 to 8-10. Riley was good with 25 touches for Adelaide. The skipper, Nathan Van Berlo, had it 24 times and led from the front. Dangerfield was brilliant. 22 disposals, 13 contested, 8 inside 50s. He kicked the goal and gave a couple away. Rory Sloane equally as good with 21, 10 contested, 8 inside 50s. Brodie Smith with 18 was serviceable. Kurt Tippett, good numbers for the big fella. 16 disposals, 6 marks, 6 contested, 4 in 50s and a goal was very good. Ian Callan and Rowie, he's in pen for round 1. He's got to get upgraded from the rookie list first. 15 touches in a half of footy and a goal was outstanding. A couple of others worth noting. Tommy Lynch, a half of footy, 14 touches, 5 marks. He's a great lead up forward. 5 contested and 3 goals won. He was a star. Jacobs with 14 touches was very good in the goal as well. The Porpoise, Jason Porpoise, he is back to his brilliant best. Not a mistake, 13 touches and 4 goals. He was very, very good. Honourable mention to McKernan, who bobbed out of the ground after half-time, kicked 3 goals as well, and Taylor Walker 2 goals in a half of footy. For Collingwood, as we said before, O'Brien, Sidebottom, Pendlebury and Swan and Maxwell, they're 5 stars, all very good. Nearly 20 possessions each. Marty Clark with 15 touches. Get him in your dream team.
Yeah, a match review for RTC Electrical Systems, Crows by 77. Let's start with the forward line. We'll go to the midfield, then probably finish with the back line. 13 different goal kickers, Bone. 63 inside 50s. Exceptional for 21 goals.
Yeah, really nice. A little bit scrappy in the first half, but when they got it right, gee, they looked nice. Their movement of the ball when Collingwood started to tire, they started to hit their targets. I still reckon they had 1 target short in the forward line. Only 2 tools they played, Walker and Tippett, or Lynch and Tippett. Paul Pleasure out of the pocket was very good, but multiple goal scorers, multiple options, a lot of footy in the midfield, a lot of clearance wins as well. Forward line looks good. I think in the end, it's going to be Walker, Tippett, Callanan, Paul Pleasure, Lynch, and then you get one of your rotating midfielders as well. It's a forward line that can kick 20 goals as it did tonight if they get enough ball, and tonight they got plenty of ball. 63 inside 50s, you're not going to lose too many games if you get that number.
Guys, just quickly, 8233 0000. You can give us a call. The phones are open, or send a text 1999 1395. That number again, 8233 00. Give us a call. You've got Rowie and Bone here. Happy to take your call. We're waiting to go down to the Adelaide Crows rooms. We're going to take a break as well. And we're also going to remind you that earlier tonight, Essendon got up by 2 points over Sydney in a thriller.
SMS is 1999 1395. Hey, Rowie, on our way to Marion Bay with Marods. Go the Crows in 2012.
Oh, well
says
done.
Flipper Chris.
Well done.
8223 0000. I buggered that up there. 8223 0000.
Okay, 77 points the margin. We spoke about the forward line structure and the talent that's going through there. I agree with you, Bone. Lynch has to get a start round one. Let's look at the defence. Young, Dowdy, Otten, Riley, Johncock, Talia and Shaw is how they lined up. They do miss Ben Rutten on the big gorilla. I was happy that Talia hung into the game.
Talia's okay. I mean,
He's okay.
Again, you say you're going to hold Travis Cloak to a couple of goals. You'd probably take that at the start of the game. He was alongside him. He didn't get beaten for pace. He didn't get lost. He just got out-muscled. And Cloak, gorilla's most blokes. So Talia, I thought, was really serviceable. Shaw, not quite convinced yet. I still think they're just a little bit vulnerable on the outside. I play Lukey Thompson. I think he looks the most settled out of all of them. You put Riley, Johncock and Dowdy next to them, all of a sudden it's got some solidity about it.
You've dropped Matty Inch.
I've dropped Matty Inch. I don't think he makes it. Henderson's the interesting one for me. I think they like him and want him off half back. Again, not totally convinced at this stage.
Well, it's either Henderson or Otten, isn't it?
With and look, Andy Otten's out of sorts at the moment too. I thought he was a little bit better in the second half.
Yeah, I agree.
Got a couple of nice ball. In the end, just trying to see his numbers. Just the 9 touches.
You have Dogger back there.
Yep.
Henderson doesn't get in.
No, I've got Riley, Johncock, Dowdy, Talia,
we'll
Thompson probably, and
we're going down to the rooms. We'll get back to that discussion in a moment, because I'm just worried about the leg speed in defence, because we've got the Batman down there, Rory Sloane. Rory, thanks for joining us.
No worries.
Now, they're young players, put a lot of heat on you in the first half, and it was a close game, only 8 points in it, but it opened up in that second half.
Yeah, it did, and their young players are always going to come out. I mean, they got a few good players out, and being a premiership side, a lot of young blokes like that don't get a chance, so they were always going to be fired up in that early on, and we knew the heat was going to be on, and we withstood it, and it was good to run over the top of them in the end and just really put it to them. Yeah,
well, nobody looked tired, but I spoke to yourself and Paddy Dangerfield after the Alice Springs game, and you both commented that the ground was sort of heavy. It had that thick couch grass or couch grass. Yeah. And I know Paddy said his legs felt absolutely knackered after last week. How did you pull up?
Yeah, legs and my back. I felt like an old man after last week. I don't know, just the spongy grass felt like it was compressing everything, but no, look, it was a light weed on the track, and I got down the beach a fair bit, and down in Brighton, beautiful down there all week, so I did plenty of recovery down the beach.
Rory, credit to Collingwood, their pressure acts and I guess their forward pressure and their defensive action, which they've been renowned for, was terrific that first half. Talk to us about that. Only 8 points to the margin, but it looked as though from here the Crows fell back into old habits. What we mean by that is overuse of the handballing to get out of traffic or trouble, rather than to create where the previous games under Sando, probably his instruction is you can kick out of trouble, and you weren't doing that. Can you talk us through that pressure and the overuse of the handball and maybe falling back into bad habits that first half?
Yeah, well, Collingwood, as you said, they're a great pressure side like that, and we knew the game wasn't going to be pretty going into it, and you can't play, or Sando calls it sexy football. You can't play sexy football against Collingwood. You've got to play real basic footy, because the pressure's going to be on. You've got to move it forward, and their pressure was awesome. They really put us under the pump and forced us to handball, and we fiddled around with it a bit, but we addressed that sort of at half time, and had a much greater focus on just getting it forward in the second half.
That midfield forward transition again in that first half, it was as if you were bombing it in there, and then in the second half I guess you had a bit more time and space, so you're a bit more exact with your forward line entries.
Yeah, it seemed we got on top out of the stoppages as well, a bit more in the second half, bit cleaner out of there as well, which enabled us to use the ball a bit better and a bit cleaner going forward.
Hey Rory, it must be nice running through the midfield looking up. You just got so many options at the moment. If it's not Kurt or Taylor, Tommy Lynch has just moved into that forward line spot just with ease and looks a real player, and Paul Plecia back there. You raise your head, you've got some real choices all of a sudden.
Yeah, he throws Shawnee Mack in there as well. I mean, there's there's Petrenko, Nida, Vince. There's just the names just go on, and it's a complete different feeling. And those guys are all awesome one-on-one, and we know if we get it in there to any one of those guys, they're a very good chance of winning the ball. And that's what we wanted to do against Collingwood, just stop them getting that loose back there and try to isolate some one-on-ones, which was good.
And flip to the other end of the ground, which was really inexperienced, and you have Daniel Talia and Sammy Shaw holding down key position spots against some forwards who can really play the game, and kids around the outside. They were under pressure and it looked a little bit shaky at times, but they held to their jobs pretty well tonight, I thought.
Yeah, look, I thought they were really good. Sam Shaw and Daniel Talia in particular had big roles on big blokes, and look, I thought they were awesome. They were well supported by Brent Riley, John Cock, Luke Thompson in the second half, and as young players, like, we couldn't expect much more from them. Like, they came in, played their role, and I thought they won it down there.
Rory, Kim Dillon again. What's the chat like amongst all the players? We've been sitting up here trying to pick a hypothetical side for round one or even next week's grand final. So many question marks and so much heat on for positions. And you look at players like Henderson, Wright, even Michael Dowdy, Matty Yench, Knights, Otten, that there's probably question marks along all those players. It is so tough for a position.
Yeah, it's incredibly tough. And like, for the last 3 weeks, we've been able to play 29 or however many, and it's been great. But now it's going to have to we're going to have to nut down and pick a more settled side, and it's going to be a real test for us to see how everyone handles it. And obviously we want the guys who don't play to go back to SANFL and really perform, so it keeps the heat on the blokes in the senior side. Rory
Sloan, our guest. You've got to keep it in perspective. A 77-point win, but I'll read out some names: Shaw, Didak, Ball, Thomas, Tarrant, Brown, Wellingham, Cracker, Johnson, Tooby, Goldsack. I could go on. They had a fair few players out, didn't they, Rory?
Yeah, they did, and that's right. We'll keep this in perspective, and we've got another tough game against maybe West Coast. Is it next week? Or
well, if West Coast beats St Kilda tomorrow, we think, and we won't know till Sunday, but the grand final will be played at Patterson next week versus West Coast.
Yeah, and look, that's like we know they had a lot out, but we really just wanted to see how our young blokes went and how everyone performs, and just no matter who's in or what the opponent is, we still want to play the same sort of footy and just really drill that into everyone.
Has Sando spoken to any of you yet, or we've grabbed you too early?
No, I just grabbed us too early, mate, sorry.
And what about after the previous games? What's his modus operandi? Does he get to each player individually?
Yeah, he does. He got to a lot of players last week. He tries to get into them straight after the game. He's been awesome, Sando, and he's been pumping blokes up when they've played well, and keeping on like the other end of the scale as well, giving the guys a little touch up when they need it.
Has he got angry? Has he already?
Not too angry, but just a couple of firm words,
Young fella, you don't play in too many grand finals in your football career. Pre-season, post-season, proper season, you win them.
Yeah, that's right. We go into every game wanting to win it, and I don't think I've played in a grand final since under-16s or under-12s and won one. So
you've got a shocking record. This is the 6th pre-season grand final Adelaide's in, and they've only won one.
Nah, it's the first one I've been in. So the first one under Sando, so clean slate.
Hey, Rory, 13 different goal kickers. Guess what? You weren't one of them.
Yeah, spewing. Last 2 weeks, so I couldn't get down there this time, but it was awesome.
Big flying shot on the outer side, the half-forward flank. Would have been a 9-pointer going towards the golf course then. That nearly snuck in for you, but, mate, hey, great game. All the best. Have a good week. I know it's a 77-point win. Nobody likes being March champs in September, chums. We know that. You're in the grand final next week. Rory, well done, mate. Keep it up and good effort.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Speak to you later.
Buddy.
Rory Sloane, he's a good young man.
He's a ripper.
Now, keep those texts coming, 1999 1395, or you can give us a call, 8223 0000.
Big cheerio to Ken. He's listening to the game in hospital, and he says he can't remember the last time he heard such a vocal crowd. Well, Kenny, enjoy a little lemonade in there. It was a great night and a great win.
12,000, but
12,062.
Nice, me.
Who was counting them? There was more than 12,000.
Yeah, well, anyway, we'll take a break.
Sure
I tend to agree.
Let's go out with a bit of Elvis Costello here, boys.
All right, then. We'll take a break. Give us a call, 8223 0000, or send a text, 1999 1395. This is the match review wrap, thanks to RTC Electrical Systems.
Adelaide's #1 football station.
1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
The 5AA Match Review on Adelaide's #1 football station, 5AAFL.
Welcome back to AAMI Stadium. If you've just joined us, it was Adelaide Crows by 77 points, but they took on a very depleted Collingwood side, but they did it in style, so they're into their sixth pre-season grand final. Kim Dillon with you, joined by Stephen Rowe and Chris McDermott. We'd love to hear from you, 8223 0000 or 1999 1395, and Dora's been kind enough to give us a call. Hello, Dora.
Hello, good call. Goodness me, was that the Crows call I heard?
Yes, it was.
My goodness, all my clapping and my excitement and everything, my caps went for cover.
Good on you, Dora.
Yeah, thanks, boys. That was good. Well done.
Thank you.
We might have been a little over. Well, I might have been a little over the top, but you can't help to get excited when the team plays powerful, attacking, exciting footy like that. And I don't care that it's March.
And you were highly excitable anyway, so it was enjoyable. You were enjoying, and I'll tell you what, the 12,000 that were here enjoyed it as well. Let's find out if Deborah enjoyed it. Deborah? No, Deb nodded off.
Deb, 77-point margin. This is our match review for RTC Electrical Systems. And I get it. Pump the brakes, Bone. It is March, and nobody wants to be a March star and not make it in September. We get that, but listen, they're playing exciting, hard, competitive, attacking football, and we can get excited.
I'm with Bone. You don't get a better preparation than this.
Yeah, of course you don't.
For the youth of that side to play in a grand final next week. Bone, we've got some text.
Steve-O, the Fisho, Rowie, a mate of yours, says, Rowie, you're right, we flogged him. Porpy was great. Sloaney was excellent. Dangerfield was awesome, and thanks for the free tickets. So you've obviously kept somebody out there. Somebody in their car not happy, no car park attendance, so there's a jam in the car park.
A jam when there's only 12,000
62 people here. Who would have thought?
Car parking was free today too, so well done to the SANFL for that.
Correct.
AFL shooting itself in the foot with these rule changes. They're bizarre. So somebody not happy with them. I didn't think the umpires were too bad tonight. And Matt says that was one of the best games I have seen the Crows play in a long, long time. Good work, boys.
8223 0000. That's the number you have to ring, and that's what Shorty's done. Shorty, you've got the floor.
G'day, guys. How you going? Yeah,
good, Shorty.
Good.
Great call. I just didn't see the game, but sounds pretty good. Good win. Good style game, I suppose. Just a bit worried about Taylor Walker, that's all. I don't know if you saw it from the call. Look at the opportunities.
Just dropping out a little bit there, didn't he? I mean, Taylor Walker, I think, was the topic of the conversation. And look, he kicks two. He finds a way to influence the scoreboard. He wasn't fantastic tonight, but he did some really nice things. We saw some tackles, some multiple efforts. It'd be hard to be critical of him in a half of footy, but then I tell you what, Tommy Lynch comes on the ground with that motor and goes up and down and kicks three, should have kicked four. Hopefully they get him in the same forward line. Hopefully they can play them together. Tonight they didn't.
But they've shown their hand. Walker starts, Lynch is sub.
Yep.
Walker gets subbed, Lynch is on. I think they play different brands of footy and they can be in the same forward line.
I was just scrambling for that text we got in Alice Springs last week that came through to you, Bone, I think it was, in regards to Taylor Walker, that he's going to tease and torment you for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm. I said he kicked 50 this year. I'm sticking with it.
All right, then I'll track down that gentleman's name.
And if you've got $20 in it, I'll double it. I reckon he'll kick 50.
Hey.
He's a 50-goal forward.
Well,
he's not 100, but he's a 50-goal forward.
You're betting against yourself. I'm not buying into that one. But
no, we're doubling up on you, buddy.
Well, I'm not accepting the bet.
You like a good bet. Now, come on. Give us 2 to 1.
Well, I've given a good bet. I'm giving $100 to the Little Heroes Foundation because I said that Carmichael Hunt would play 100 games. I said that last year.
You know, by the time he does, $100 won't be worth $100 anymore. It'll be worth about 50.
I'm glad he got another 2 years, and then he'll still need another 3 years after that. 8223 0000. We'd love to hear from you. You've got Stephen Rowe, Chris McDermott, and Kim Dillon. Deborah, thank you for your patience.
Deb.
Yeah, yes, hello.
Yeah, good to hear from you.
Thank you. And so do I book tickets for the grand final or not?
No, Deb. Now listen.
Which grand final?
Oh, this grand final. You mean the NAB Cup grand final, Deb?
No, the big one.
No, well listen, Deb, I just want to read some names out. Shaw, Didak, Bull, Thomas, Tarrant, Brown, Wellingham, Cracker, Goldsack, Johnson, Tuvey. I'm sure I've missed some. Mm-hmm. They're the premiership stars from Collingwood that didn't play today, Deb. So we need to just pump the brakes a bit because you put those guys back in there. It's not a 77-point margin.
But, Deb, buy the tickets anyway because a grand final is always a great spectacle.
No. Buy a gold ticket membership for the Crows anchors you an automatic grand final seat if they make the grand final.
Well done, Rowie. There you go, Deb. There's some good advice. 8223 0000. Judy, what do you think about tonight?
Oh, fantastic, boys. Rowie,
Boy, can you get excited?
Yeah, I know.
I
Sorry.
love Rowie.
Sorry.
You should
It's
see
all
him.
right,
You only get to
darling.
hear him. We get to see him as well.
Yeah, well, I do miss it on the TV.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be on the TV next week, Jude.
Will
The grand,
it? Are we
yeah,
in
the grand
grand-
final will be on free to air. It'll be on
Yeah.
Channel 7 next week.
On Friday night.
Yeah,
We
Saturday
think,
night.
no,
maybe, I
we
reckon.
think it'll be Saturday
Saturday
night if West Coast win. It'll be played in Perth Saturday night. If West Coast lose to St Kilda tomorrow and, say, Hawthorn win or Geelong win, they've got the best percentage. It'll be played at Docklands next Friday night.
Oh, well, okay, they'll
That's
play it
what
Oh,
on
we've
Friday.
heard. That's
Okay.
what we've heard.
1999 1395 if you want to send a text. If you want to talk to us in person, we're interactive. 8233 0000. Darryl, what do you think of tonight's proceedings?
I thought it was pretty good. I like the way they played the game tonight. I reckon I said to my mum, I said that a bit of a Geelong about them tonight with the way they played. I think Charlie has still got a bit of work. I mean, I think Travis Cloaker outplayed him tonight, but he's still learning. And I know that, like you said, that Collingwood had a few players out tonight, but I just thought the way the Crows went about the game and their work in the packs, and especially for the first time their forward lines, they were keeping the ball in, they were fighting for it, and I thought it was a damn good effort. Like I said, can't get too carried away because it's only a NAB Cup, and I still believe the NAB Cups and everything else are still trial match games, but there was a lot there to look forward to in the future, and I think they've got a little bit of Geelong about with Sanderson, and I could see the way the guys were running and they were hunting, and that hadn't been seen in Adelaide Crows for quite a few times. Do you agree?
Well, look, their strength is fantastic. Their tackling, being able to break a tackle and then hold players in a tackle. I'll ask you two a question, Bone. Rutten trained all this week.
Yep.
He'll train all next week. It's a NAB Cup Grand Final. They're prepping him for round one of the season. Would you bring him back next
No,
week?
doesn't
Or you
play.
just say, yeah, I agree. He doesn't play.
I'm with Bone.
Yeah, he doesn't
Go back
play.
and have a run at Westies and have a little half around at West
Okay.
Adelaide, and then he'd probably play 2-3 quarters the week after, and then if he's right for round one, you can just slot him in. I mean,
If it was the same rules as tonight, you'd throw him into your squad if you had 26 players,
Correct.
I think. But
Yeah.
it reverts back to 22 and home and away rules next week, and that in
Cotton
terms
wool
of the
him.
quarters as well.
Cotton wool him.
Yep, 100%. 8223 0000. Mark, thanks for your patience.
How you going, boys?
We've had a good night.
That's good call tonight. I think Taylor Walker's a big plug in down forward tonight, but I think Tommy Lynch showed a bit. What do you think he chunked out for round one?
Oh, he plays. Tommy Lynch, for me, he played midpoint, he played leader, his work rate, the way he can get on the end of the ball, his finishing is outstanding, he's a team player. Bone, look, I've liked him from day one, and he's a hard player to match up on because he can have a good grab above his head.
he jumps, gets off the ground too, okay, and knows where the goals are. He's in for sure.
But I think he can work in that forward line. But they've shown their hand by saying Walker played first. At half-time, they subbed him off and put Lynch in. Tippett, Walker, Lynch, per pleasure. Then you've got a Cullinan type, a Bernie Vince, the other midfielder, as you said, to run around in there. That's a potent forward line.
SMS is 1999 3095. Boys, we still paid for car parking. $12 it was. Nice win, says the Cooper family.
That
was at Westfield, $12.
That was in the Tizer this morning, that it was free parking.
It's free parking here, but Westfield was $12.
Boys, so much better to watch. No switching or kicking backwards, and we loved it. And come on, Collingwood, says Paul.
Come on, Collingwood. Well, they got done by 77 points. We hope you enjoyed our coverage. On behalf of Stephen Rowe and Chris McDermott, join us again tomorrow, 3 p.m. David Wildy, Port Adelaide taking on Freo down south. If you didn't catch tonight's game, here's a snippet of how Adelaide got up by 77 points. Over to Dangerfield on the burst. Now a short little pass, and it's a ripper. And he found Taylor Walker. He kicks from 53 metres out. Distance never a problem, nor is the accuracy.
Tippity does swing around. Paul Pleasure's on his own. Max for Long kick, Harry O. In there's Paddy D. Paddy D, Harry O. Paddy D's won it. Harry O's got him in a headlock. What a duel. It was
Free
like
kick
rock and
goes
roll
off.
wrestling. And it's going to be a free kick to Paddy D. What deal? Pop that place there.
His handle wasn't that good. Bit of pressure out there.
Bang.
Dangerfield under pressure. Away he goes. What about? He's taking him on, and this time he can kick,
Look at
and it's an
that.
absolute beauty. Well, that's the play of the day. He found Taylor Walker on the chest as the siren sounds here in the second term of the 25.5-minute mark. Yeah, and he's directly in front. He kicks from about 39 metres and splits the centre. The umpire didn't move. Very handy goal there.
But he handballs back to Cullinan. Cullinan now, clever handball. Goes into Kerridge. Kerridge, goal!
Well, it goes out towards Tippett. His handball went infield to Callanan. Has a chance for a 9-pointer. Didn't worry about it. The beautiful pass. Gives it on to Tommy Lynch, and he whacked it through for a goal. It was, as they say, champagne footy. It was pure, it was clean, and it was enjoyable.
Ball chopped off. Lynch gives it back to Cullinan. Cullinan on the left wing. Callanan kick. The most amazing goal in the left-hand pocket. Martin unselfishly, Jens from his back pocket, has kicked a big super goal.
Campbell out the carriage, a better handball over to Lynch, and he's kicked three. Tommy Lynch has kicked three.
I'm going to put all my fishing rods, my boat, my tractor, everything on this.
I'm going to say you'll miss it because I want a boat.
No.
Yeah! I've kept my fishing rods in the Nereus. Go and get stuck, all ya!
He's slow. Now he's kicked it inside 50. It was a race for pace, but the siren has sounded to end this one at Amy Stadium. A comprehensive victory to Adelaide. 1 super goal, 20 normal goals, 9 behind, so that's accurate kicking. 138. To Collingwood, 1 super goal, 7 goals, 10, 61. So that is a margin of 77.
This is where the game happens. Adelaide's #1 football station, 5AA FM.